everyone. I wanted to do another video. I've done a few videos on this and it's the same topic, and I thought I'd got a question on an old video, and I realised that I have since gotten sorry, just get myself comfortable. I normally do videos somewhere else, but so I realised that I've gotten a lot more kind of personal experience and information to share on the same topic. So I wanted to do another video on kind of a topic I've probably covered twice, but as we evolve and we move forward, it's like we get more and more insight on the journey. So I wanted to do yet another video on the void. So I had a big void in January and February, and I've had the void feelings before. And I feel like I truly understood it on a deeper level than I've even understood it before. So how I see the void now, and when I say the void, I mean those periods where you feel completely joyless and void, and you feel like there's absolutely nothing that could fulfill you, and someone can literally offer you like £1 million and a trip abroad to a place you always wanted to go, and you'd be like, just not really feeling anything. Like I just feel so void. Like void is the only word I can give. So I've learned to understand that these periods of void is when we are actually like truly awakening. So I feel there's this part of the journey where we awaken and we understand there's more to life. We understand the concepts of energy, and we kind of plow ourselves into a spiritual journey, but it's not what I would call like a real spiritual journey. It's kind of like we feel it is, but we're actually just replacing one identity and one ego for another. And just the same as you can be in the corporate world, and you're like, yeah, I'm this like boss woman and I'm a high flyer. You can also have that in the spiritual world. You can be like, yeah, I'm the guru and I help people, or I'm the, like I'm a healer and I heal people, and all this stuff. It has ego programs in it. A lot of it's wanting to save people or be the most knowledgeable person. We all have bits of this. I still have this as well. But as you start to understand it and see it in yourself, that's when you can really make the shift. So you'll start to, at some point, lose interest in the spiritual world to a point. I mean, I left the spiritual world completely for a bit, actually. I just couldn't be around it. Like, it was so much ego for me, which is, you would think, ironic, right? But it was almost like it was hyperinflated, and I actually found it easier to go back into kind of normality for a bit. And now I feel like I'm attracting my new tribe in the sort of more spiritual community that also see things, on a similar level. But it's just because people are spiritual. I heard someone else in their videos, actually, and I watch a lot of different things, and that's something that I feel like I'm here to do. Is I feel like I'm here to kind of test everything and understand how things work together. I've never been a one practice type of person. I've always delved into many things and taken the elements that I think work from them. And I feel like that is my thing, is to work out a process of using all the things that I found the most helpful into one difficult one, because it really takes a lot of working out what's useful at what time. So somewhat of a difficult challenge I feel that I've taken on than just having one thing and being really strong about it. But yeah, so there's this idea of there being like the real spiritual journey, which I don't even fully agree with how they deal with that, but I agree with that point, and a lot of the other things are esoteric or psychology based, and it doesn't mean you can't do them. I mean, I'm so psychic these days. I've had a real push with this where I just feel my psychic abilities have just gone crazy, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's interesting. It's a useful tool to use sometimes. It's kind of fun, but it isn't gonna get me into union. It isn't gonna be my, I'm not gonna be evolved because I'm psychic or whatever, or I can read energy. That actually is more just like a byproduct. It's like the more that you ascend, the more these gifts just happen to be there because we're all part of the one source. So of course we all have access to each other. So it's more like it's really dark. Sorry, let me maybe move here. So the more that we evolve, the more it's messy floor behind. I've been doing my workouts up here. So the more that we, I can't get any light. You just have to have darkness. So the more that we evolve, the more that we step into all of our gifts, and the clearer they become. Sorry, this is the most like moving around, shifting video that I've ever done. I think it's actually just best here in the darkness. Sorry, I'm back with you now. So yeah, the void feeling, don't ever say my videos are not raw. The void feeling is, so the ultimate kind of state to be in is non-attachment to anything. And a lot of the twin flame journey is about clearing attachment to physical body, clearing attachment to union, not having that pulling energy on that person, because when you're pulling them, which it's not anyone's fault, I still feel it myself, I still have it, like it's not because you're controlling and desperate, it's because you feel a person pulling away on an energetic level and you fear being left, or you feel you're being left, and it makes your ego kick in and you just feel like you're going crazy and you just, your energy's like, come back. So, we have this push and pull going on, and the big thing of the twin flame journey is to get rid of that, is to just completely be in your own energy, and that is a magnet, and it brings the other person to you, it brings your union to you. Now, I don't actually even know anymore what I believe about like the twin flame as being, from my experience, I have had a few connections and I have let go of all of the ones that have, let's say, the runner template. Like that, to me, that intense, obsessive running template, or hot and cold, has not been the people that I now have any connection to. Let's just say it that way. I had to let go of all those. Maybe on your journey you will let go of them, and that means that they appear. I'm actually incredibly happy that I'm over those people, because I'm more than happy that it's a new energy. But it's an energy. The twin flame it's an inner union. At the end of the day, the sooner you let go of it being a specific person, the better. Because until you're in union with yourself and you experience a harmonious union, you have probably no idea. With everybody that's let go of somebody, you're like, yeah, but I'm different, and I'm never going to convince you of that. But everybody that I know, myself included, that's had that thing of like, no, I know who it is. I've had the signs, I've had the guidance, I feel their emotions, I have had all the synchronicities and signs that are on all the websites, and yeah, forget all that. Honestly, you can be 110,000% sure you've met your twin flame, but if you're in all your ego programs and you're not in a harmonious union, I would like to say you don't know if you have or not, because there's been many of us that have felt that way and they have not been our twin flames. I don't even know what label we want to give it, but they've not been the ultimate embodiment of the person that we then want to move into a harmonious physical union with. Let's just put it that way. Maybe they're twin flames on another reality, because I do feel that's highly possible, is that they're like fragments of the twin flame. They're lower dimensional versions of the twin flame, but, let go of it. Just like, if they don't want to be in your life or consistently in your life, just let them go. Because when you come into inner union, if they are, they'll be there. And if not, it'll be somebody else. And that's a really big part of the journey, is to let go of attachment to a physical body. So you're not going to do anything wrong by just letting go as soon as you can of them being your twin flame. I actually think the more you hold on to that, the more it can hold you back, because you kind of spend so much time focusing on them rather than your own inner journey, which is what's going to bring your twin flame in anyways. So back to my original thing about the void. So as you progress on this journey, you're losing all your attachments to finding fulfillment external of yourself. So what this means is that there's a process of letting that go. So you see through it, you see through the ego veil, you're like, oh, I no longer want that outside thing to make me happy. So you start to fill yourself up from within, and there's a period, it's just joyless and it's just void. They're the only words I can use. And it's when you're learning not to seek your fulfillment in that outer thing, and that can be anything. It's like when you give up a specific like addiction to junk food, or you realize that actually being a healer or being a psychic in a certain way is actually just creating dependency, and it's actually just you trying to save somebody rather than save yourself and work on yourself and heal yourself. So every time you see through an ego veil, I find that quite often, especially if you do a big bulk one or you do a few in one go, you enter into a period of joylessness and void, where you then have to find that energy inside of yourself, rather than seek it in a partner or an experience or a job or a role or an identity. And the way that I found it easiest to move through that joyless period and that void period is really just to be. That I don't agree with just only being. I mean, this is just my opinion. I actually really believe there's more to the journey about really identifying your ego, looking at your triggers and the way you're triggered, and mirroring those and bringing them back to yourself and seeing that you create your entire experience. So I really feel there's more, but in these joyless void periods, I've honestly found that's the best, quickest way that I personally work through them, is when I feel that void, I accept that I've let something go, and rather than desperately go and try and refill it with something else outside of myself, that actually is when you have the opportunity for a huge turning point, by just being, by saying, I'm not going to go and seek joy in anything. I'm just going to lie here and I'm going to allow it to come. And I'm only going to break this when something comes and it knocks on my door and it's like, hey, do you want to come to this? Or do you want to hang out? Or hi. So they're the moments where I stop searching completely. I just be with myself. I even take it to further steps, and I'll come off Facebook and social media and I'll do nothing online for a bit. And I'll just truly embrace it. I'll be with that energy, however uncomfortable it is. And I just be. And I'll maybe watch some like spiritual videos, nothing to do with twin flames, just spiritual videos. And I just move into a state of complete being. And at the beginning, that's a joyless state of being. And then what I've noticed is then the joy, you start to find it within, and then that mirrors on the external. So something will come in and it will be a bit pure and it will be a bit better than the things that you were attaching onto for joy before. And that's how I personally shift through the void the quickest, and how I get into a state of alignment quicker and get things shifting again. I just really, it's, and I think that you can get that process quicker and quicker as you understand it more. The first one might take months, and then, you get it down each time to the point where you just feel a bit like that, and then you're like, okay, I'm just going to be. And very quickly you start to feel the joy. And that's really how I've gotten into states of like complete joy and bliss, and just maintain them. And I'll do you a live update at some point. I don't want to do it right now because I'm not in the right mode, but I've had a lot of shifts happen, and I will update on that. But yeah, I hope everyone's good, and I'll speak to you soon.